Hey everyone, I'm Selena Sportsberger, President of the Mississippi Council on Economic Education, and this will serve as your orientation as a volunteer for the Mississippi Economics Challenge taking place this week. It's Wednesday, April 17th, and it will happen at the Mississippi Public Broadcasting Building. So thank you very much for agreeing to help us out. I promise it will be a really fun, engaging day. Special note is that this is the very first time ever that the final third round, which is the quiz bowl round, will be filmed and then later televised on TV by Mississippi Public Broadcasting. So I'm super, super proud and pleased about that. So what I wanted to do though, because the morning of the event ends up being super crazy, I thought, well, it makes sense for me to go ahead and record this orientation and send it out so that you can watch it at your leisure at some point before Wednesday morning. Also, I thought it would be more convenient than asking you to join me at a specific time for a Zoom meeting. So here we go. You should be seeing my screen, which I've shared. It is the agenda for the day. And what I will do is talk to you about what the different roles are and how the day will go. So on Wednesday at 9 o'clock is when the teams and volunteers that are working that morning should start to arrive. Now, I have sent you a separate email that had your times on it. And if you are a facilitator and game master, that's one position. Then I have asked you to be there from 9:30 until 12 o'clock. And if you are serving as a quiz bowl judge, I have asked you to be there between 11:30 and 1 o'clock. Those times are just a tiny bit fluid, but should be pretty, you know, you should feel good that those are the times that you will need to be away from your office. And we will need you for that full time. And they're not really positions that you can come and just serve like half a shift. So let's go over the day. 9 o'clock, if you're especially if you're a facilitator and a game master, go ahead and start showing up about 9. We'll have coffee and some little snacks if you're hungry. At 9:30 will be the welcome and introductions, and those will be done by me as president of the council. At 10 o'clock, that is when round one starts. And round one is a multiple choice economics test that the students will be taking on their laptops. And so your job, your first job of the morning, if you're a facilitator and game master, will be to make sure they can access the Wi-Fi. Go ahead and get signed in to ClassMarker, which you can see on the agenda is just classmarker.com, and we'll also have that posted on the monitors and whatnot in the room that we'll be meeting in. There are two separate divisions for Economics Challenge. One is David Ricardo, and those are students who are in one semester economics, or maybe it could be a club where they've never been to the challenge before, something like that. Those are the students that are in David Ricardo. And then Adam Smith is for either advanced placement economics students or students that have been to the challenge previously. So they are treated separately, two separate divisions, different questions. They're competing only against each other. This year, I think we only have 5 of each team, so 5 David Ricardo and 5 Adam Smith. And yeah, so they'll take that exam. It's online, it's self-grading. When they're done, they're done. They just kind of sit there and chill. But by 10:30, they only get 30 minutes to do that first round. By 10:30, they will all be finished. And then we'll move into round 2, which is the escape room activity. And the students receive a backpack, which will already be on their tables. And in the backpack, there are pockets and envelopes that are locked with travel locks. And so if you've ever been to a real escape room, we modeled these after that, where you have to solve a puzzle say, in round one, you've got to, and by round one, I mean round one of the backpack escape room, you have to solve a puzzle to get a code that will help you unlock the second room that you need to go in, or the second activity. Each team gets 3 hints. This will all be explained to the students, but Allie generally manages those hints. You will work with the team to identify their team captain, and that's the person who will run back and forth if they need hints. Once they get 3 hints, they can't have any more. If you saw a team really struggling, like on round two for a long time, you might even suggest that they go get a hint, because they can't get past round two, then they're definitely not going to solve the escape room. So you will have a folder, and in that folder, when the team says, um, if they were to say they were having, let me think about how this works for just a minute. In your folder, you're going to have materials that you will use um, to help you determine if they've gotten, if they have the right answer, but for some reason their lock isn't opening. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit um, not remembering exactly how your folder works, which is awful because this is your orientation. But we're just Allie's putting together their backpack today, so I haven't had a chance to refresh my memory. But I do know that you will have a folder that helps do certain things during the process. That's why you're called the game master. It'll be pretty self-explanatory, and I will also re-explain it tomorrow. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. Um, your job, if you are a facilitator and a game master, is just to be there for your team of students. You can't give them answers. You can't help them solve a puzzle or anything like that. But I do, for example, one thing that's happened in the past is um, kids have said, well, we know this is the answer, like it's got to be the answer, and you can help facilitate getting them up to Allie to determine if maybe there's something wrong with the lock. That doesn't happen very often at all, but we just need to make sure that if it did, that we've got a way to address it. Um, they have an hour to do the backpack, so that's 10:45 to 11:45. And just as a point of reference, last year we've been doing the backpack for about 5 years, I think. And last year was the first time we've ever had a team solve the backpack. So most of them do not do that, and that's okay. We award points based on how far they get and how long it took them. So one thing you will be doing as a game master is there will be a sheet in your folder that where you note the time of day that it is when they finish a particular round. That helps us with scoring. So you're tracking when they finish each round by time. Another thing you're doing is you're making sure that they don't pick the lock. I never would have thought that was an issue until like year two, and I had a facilitator come up to me afterwards and say, "Yeah, they were picking a lock. That is automatic disqualification." And I will tell them that as per the rules, but you are just watching them to make sure they're not trying to get into the locks any other way than solving them legitimately with the codes. So then at 11:45, we will break for lunch. Any volunteer that's there at that time, whether you're finishing a shift or you're just coming on for the quiz bowl round, we'll have lunch for you there. Round three at 12:30 is the quiz bowl. Now, the only teams advancing to this round will be the top two Adam Smith division teams. We're doing this really because of time. MPB told us that what they were willing to televise is basically one group of students. So it made sense that we choose Adam Smith. That's the advanced economics. So if you signed up to be a judge for the quiz bowl, or there's a timekeeper and a scorekeeper. So there are four of y'all. Even though the quiz bowl doesn't start until 12:30, we need you there no later than 11:30. You will, whereas the game master slash facilitator will report to just the general room where we all are. The quiz bowl people will go on down to the studio where this is being filmed, and the staff there, the TV staff at MPB, is going to work with you just to make sure you understand the flow of the event. We need to make sure everybody is in sync, doing what they're supposed to do. You, as part of the quiz bowl, are very likely to end up on television. So that is why I have asked y'all to make sure you come in business attire. We have told the students that they should come in business attire. We also said they could come in school uniforms, but that doesn't happen very often. So you'll be in training from 11:30 until 12:30 if you're part of the quiz bowl. And then at 12:30, we will start the process of getting the students down to the studio, the two teams, getting them up to speed on the process and whatnot. Everybody else will be going to it's like an auditorium area. And we, in that room, will be able to do a couple of things. One, we'll be able to watch once they start recording the quiz bowl round. That will be beamed into the auditorium so that we can watch that process. MPB is also going to provide popcorn and drinks, is what I understand. I need to confirm the drinks. But anyway, they're going to provide popcorn so that it can be kind of like a movie environment. So if you were a morning volunteer that finished at 12 o'clock, you are free to go at that point, but we also absolutely would love for you to stay and watch the quiz bowl round. What we might do, and this is kind of an unknown, I haven't decided yet. It will depend on the flow of the day, but on the agenda, you will see that we don't plan to do presentation of awards until 1:30, which would be when the quiz bowl is over. Having said that, the students who advance the quiz bowl will receive their awards actually in the recording studio as part of the piece that will be televised. If it makes sense, we may do awards and team photographs from 12:30 until 1, because we don't really get in the auditorium. I know this is probably more than you care to know, but I just want you to understand the flow of the day. Because in the auditorium will be all the students not advancing to quiz bowl, and we could absolutely go ahead and do the regional awards as well as the first and second place awards for David Ricardo. So we're going to play that a little bit by ear and just be ready to do that on the fly. Regardless, the event will be over no later than 2 o'clock. So